amid massive protests in Israel to secure a ceasefire and hostage release deal with Hamas. The White House has said its latest deal proposal includes a withdrawal of the IDF from the heavily populated areas along the Philadelphia corridor. Now, the State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller has revealed that Israel also has agreed to the proposal, which the US will put forward over the coming days with the mediators Egypt and Qatar to push for a final agreement. The United States has called for urgency and flexibility to finalise an agreement between Israel and Hamas for a truce in Gaza.
But there are dozens of hostages still remaining in Gaza, still waiting for a deal that will bring them home. It is time to finalize that deal. The people of Israel cannot afford to wait any longer. The Palestinian people, who are also suffering the terrible effects of this war, cannot afford to wait any longer. The world cannot afford to wait any longer.
The revelation by the United States comes a day after Netanyahu, in his address, said that Israel must maintain a presence along the Egypt-Gaza border stretch. However, according to Israeli media reports, hours before Netanyahu's press conference, Mossad chief David Barnea flew to Doha to inform Qatari PM Mohammed bin Abdulrahman Al Thani that Israel is prepared to fully withdraw its forces from the Philadelphia corridor in the second phase of the hostage deal. The Philadelphia corridor has been a major sticking point in efforts to secure a deal to halt the fighting in Gaza and return some 101 Israeli hostages held by Hamas. The UNSC also discussed the issue of Gaza hostages on Tuesday and called for a deal. Slovenia's UN envoy, the Council President for September, said patience is running out among United Nations Security Council members, and the 15-member body will likely consider taking action if a ceasefire cannot soon be brokered between Israel and Hamas.
It's quite a mood in the Council. So I think this is the tension that is raising, and I'm pretty sure that in September it will have to go, under our presidency, it will have to go one way or the other, not because we want so, but because I think the patient is out.
For the third consecutive night, protesters in Israel's Tel Aviv continued to mount pressure on the Israeli government to secure a hostage release deal. At least 500,000 people took to the streets in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv on Sunday after the discovery of 6 deceased captives in Gaza over the weekend, who authorities reported were killed within 48 to 72 hours prior to their recovery. On the other hand, Netanyahu's political rival Benny Gantz has criticised his stance on the Philadelphia corridor. He says Israel does not need to keep troops in the southern Gaza border area for security reasons, as its main existential threat is Iran and not the Philadelphia corridor. Benny Gantz accused Netanyahu of putting his own interests before Israel's.
The Prime Minister did not look the public in the eye and tell the truth, that he won't bring the hostages alive. He won't truly protect the southern corridor of Gaza, that he will not return the residents of the north to their homes, that he won't prevent Iran from obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Furthermore, the United States announced that criminal charges against top leaders of Hamas over their roles in the deadly October 7th attack in Israel. Militant group's chief, Yahya Sinwar, along with 5 others at least, have been accused of orchestrating the October 7th attack, which killed 1,200 people, including more than 40 Americans. The attack triggered an Israeli assault on Gaza that's killed more than 40,800 Palestinians. Out of the 6 accused, Sinwar is believed to be hiding in Gaza, while Khaled Meshal, who heads the group's diaspora office based in Doha, and Ali Bakraka, a senior Hamas official, is based in Lebanon. 3 other Ismail Haniyeh, Mohammed Daif and Marwan Issa have already been killed. The White House said now Hamas has even more American blood on its hands, and it will pay for the deaths of 6 hostages. And President Joe Biden is working around the clock with his team to get a ceasefire deal done.
Make no mistake about it, Hamas leaders are going to pay for these crimes. And he and his team, for sure, will keep working around the clock to get this hostage deal done. And this is a president that has been pretty clear about that. He's spoken about making sure that we get this hostage deal done. He's met with the hostage families.
Well, for more on this story, our correspondent Jodie Collins sent us this report from Ranana. Jodie, we asked what is known about the key sticking point when it comes to talks in the Philadelphia corridor, and could there be a breakthrough?
Right, so the Philadelphia corridor appears to be a key sticking point. Hamas is demanding that Israel leaves the corridor because Hamas wants to take back control of the border between Gaza and Egypt. Israel's security cabinet voted against withdrawing from the corridor, and Prime Minister Netanyahu said that the corridor is a lifeline for Hamas and its ability to rearm. The US State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller suggested that Israel agreed to the mediator's bridging proposal, which he said requires Israel to withdraw in the first phase from heavily populated areas of the corridor. But he said that there are a number of details that still need to be worked out. There are also reports that Israel could potentially withdraw from the corridor in a second phase of the deal, but the Prime Minister's office has reportedly said that the Security Cabinet has not yet discussed the second phase. Now, Miller stressed that Hamas must accept the bridging proposal. Meanwhile, Hamas has released another video of the 6 hostages before they were executed, and commentators are suggesting that these are ISIS-like videos designed to distress the public and put pressure on the Israeli government to give in to Hamas's demands, and protests are expected to continue on Wednesday evening. Meanwhile, the White House is saying that the execution of the hostages will colour the negotiations, but they do believe that a deal is still possible.
Well, we also asked Jodie what the implications were of the US's announcement of criminal charges against Hamas's leaders for that 7th of October attack against Israel, which also killed American citizens.
Right, so the charges are against the 6 Hamas leaders in connection with Hamas's 7th of October attack against Israel, and it's seen as largely symbolic. The charges have been brought after the Hamas executed the 6 hostages at the weekend, including American citizen Hersh Goldberg Polin. Now, 3 of the Hamas defendants have been killed. Hamas head Yahya Sinwar is in hiding in the Hamas tunnels in Gaza, and a senior Hamas official, Ali Baraka, is based in Lebanon. But US officials have said that they expect at least one of the defendants to be brought to New York for prosecution, and there's speculation that that could be the former head of Hamas's political bureau, Khaled Mashal, who's based in Qatar, an ally of the US. Now, the US has suggested that the defendants are armed with weapons, political support and funding from Iran, with support from Hezbollah in efforts to try to destroy Israel. And the US has said that these charges are just the first part of efforts to target every aspect of Hamas's operations.